Some novels are not meant for Lydia language.
Like my mother, too. She died when I was only 2 weeks old, so I know only of her scribblings by hearsay.
Novels can reach the heights of poetry.
My dreams were once more fantastic and agreeable than my writings. I accounted for them to no one. They were my refuge when annoyed, my dearest pleasure when free.
They can captivate the reader, and so shape his opinion that he emerges from his reading changed, charged, ready to oppose the wicked and shoulder the indifferent.
I could not figure to myself that romantic woes or wonderful events would ever be my lot, but I was not confined to my own identity. I could people the hours with creations far more interesting to me at that age than my own sensations. After this, life became busier and reality stood in place of fiction. My husband was very anxious that I should prove myself worthy of my parentage and enroll myself on the page of fame, forever inciting me to obtain literary reputation still. I did nothing. In the summer of 1860, we visited Switzerland. A wet, ungenial summer, and incessant rain confined us for days to the house.
We will each write a ghost story.
I busied myself to think of a story that would speak to the mysterious fears of our nature and awaken thrilling horror, make the reader dread to look around, a story to curdle the blood and quicken the beatings of the heart. I felt that blank capability of invention. When dull, nothing replies to our anxious invocation.
Have you thought of a story? Have you thought of a story? Have you thought of a story? Have you thought of a story?
Have you?
The lecture on the experiments of Dr. Darwin. A bit about the pasta. He preserved a piece of vermicelli in a glass case until, by some extraordinary means, who knows the devil what, it began to move of its own volition. Do you believe it?
Perhaps a corpse could be reanimated. Perhaps the components of a creature. Night waned upon this talk, my imagination unbidden and possessed, guiding the vividness far beyond the usual bounds of reverie. I saw with shut eyes but acute mental vision the pale student of unhallowed arts, kneeling beside the thing he had put together. I saw the hideous phantasm of a man stretched out, the horrid thing looking at him with yellow, watery yet speculative eyes.
You look as though you've been wrestling with the angels.
I think I've got a story.
I'm envious.
A fluke, a transcript of the grim terrors of my waking dream.
What luck. Ridiculous, really. Shelley's paramour, innamorata. Dare I say, whore. Whore, except that she was also the daughter of that banshee in skirts and female liberationist. Mrs. Wollstonecraft. Going on about the rights of women, education, sexual freedom, what have you, so not whore, but free woman, new woman. Only 16, girl, really. But we incipient geniuses, we were the writers. The challenge was a ghost story, and she beat us hands down. Ludicrous. And just. Stick to the rigor of the novel, Mary. Only lazy persons write for the theater.
Yes, Papa.
The scope and complexity of the novel requires hundreds of pages, each one crammed with words. Beside it, a play is merely a sketch, each page hardly marked with ink. And the novel conveys far more vigorously any tracts records of social injustice. Except for your mother's tracts, they surpassed her novels, oddly enough, and prove vastly more influential.
But Byron
But
was
no play!
a novel, Papa, a ghost story.
It's in your blood, from my side, my dear. Caleb Williams, St. Leon.
my political philosophy,
Prefer Elizabeth Rich.
my inquiry concerning political justice.
Exhaustive, voluminous, extended, not to mention endless inquiry.
You expect me to take up my mother's cause, but I am partial to my father's inquiries. Even though now, in my waning years, I can't help but wonder if justice is possible, and if so, what are its essentials? But no matter, we are aiming for a ghost story. And so, my dear but hideous progeny, go forth, work your spell, prosper.
I beg your pardon, but I do believe this is my story.
Yes, yours, Victor Frankenstein.
I tell the tale,
You, among others.
but I am the central figure, except my own progeny, which by definition I myself bring forth.
As I you.
Shall I thank you?
We digress. Captain Walton tells of you telling your tale, which includes allowing the creature to tell its tale.
Fatal flaw.
Pure genius.
One inside the other, each a different.
Creation.
Indeed.
Mine.
Yes, let's not be silly. My story is your story.
Your story is my story.
No, do tell it.
When I tell it, I live it. It's difficult.
For me too. Yes, I understand.
Then why?
To warn the reader.
Of?
You don't know.
They've been warned and warned. What's the good?
This next time it may stick.
Why bother? Show them what must be done.
If you would begin.
Please.
Either version of beginning the same as this.
You'll allow me to.
You
I
were
was
the
a child of loving parents who pitied my innocence and brought me up to be good. When I was but 5, they adopted a lovely orphan, Elizabeth, who became my more than sister, mine to protect, love, and cherish.
Elizabeth pored over her needlework and contemplated appearances while Victor studied causes, zealous to fathom the secrets of heaven and earth.
Empty vessel, longing to be filled to the brim.
Their friend, Henry Clerval, occupied himself with the moral relations of things.
Idyllic childhood. Later misfortune hued my destiny.
Natural philosophy regulated your day. At 13, you chanced upon a volume of Cornelius Agrippa.
Father,
My dear Victor, do not waste your time. Cornelius Agrippa's sad trash.
you barely glanced at it. Has he even read it? I read Abbott.
Agrippa?
Paracelsus.
Albertus Magnus, now there's a thinker. I much prefer Isaac Newton, thinking of shells beside the great and unexplored ocean of truth.
His successor embraced the same pursuit, partially unveiling the face of nature, yet her immortal lineaments are still a wonder and a mystery.
The men my father scorned will help me to storm the citadel of nature. I'm enthralled. Must I say that?
It's there.
Enthralled? With Newton?
Prediction to the ghost
What if we
story.
are sure that must be done?
For now.
We should mention.
Go on.
If you insist on doing it,
She insists, not I.
then do it thoroughly, completely.
With the greatest diligence.
In search of the philosopher's stone. The elixir of life.
Don't you think you may be overdoing it?
How can one overdo the search for truth?
Ever heard of a fellow named Faust?
I'm not amused, Henry. Faust has nothing to do with it. He sold his soul, and I'm just working hard. Let's get on with it.
Exactly.
This is the point. Once we've made it, what's left?
One point of many.
How many points?
Immaterial.
Since you forced my hand, will you allow me the courtesy?
Your unquenchable curiosity.
A simple question.
I have not counted my points. That is an enterprise more suited for serious debate than frivolous pastime, but I do know that there is more than this one. Henry, please.
Faust wanted to know everything, just like you.
Henry, have a gumption. Am I telling her story, or is she telling mine?
She is the author.
So I must melt banalities? Produce what I suffered the imaginings of a 16-year-old child?
Only a way to while away evening. And my adolescent imagination floats unshackled, free of the constraints of experience.
Have you never thirsted for a means to improve our human lot? Have you never found yourself nearly crushed by your own creation's force? Creation assumed its own contour.
Please just go on.
It spurs possibilities you cannot foresee, and it exercises influences of questionable morality. And you, its creator, are calling your original impulse.
It's only a ghost story.
Stop saying that! The intentions behind the original impulse have evaporated, and you are left with thin air.
In any case, you are telling your story to him, and he will tell it to the world.
A mere device. What matters here are noble intentions gone wrong and the impossibility of making them go right.
Ghost wanted to know everything. Just like you.
I want to help humanity. Oh, to think of it. To banish disease from the human frame, and to render all man invulnerable to any but a violent death.
Oh, dream on, Victor. But don't let these fancies carry you off.
Other visions, too. My authors promised the raisings of ghosts. Since I lack piety, do not subscribe to resurrection.
Now there I draw the line.
Raising of ghosts poses an essential question.
Let them lie. Let them return to the earth. We must face the present and confront the monsters lurking within the shadows of our own hopes.
Physician, heal thyself.
I am doing my utmost, Henry. I have failed so far. I've faulted the people, not the instructor. But I cannot stop, not until I've exhausted all the possibilities.
You'll exhaust yourself first, my friend. Please, be sensible.
Paracelsus and Albertus Magnus? Can I ever catch up with what is known? Let alone hack a trail to the wilderness of ignorance? Pseudo-knowledge! Only mathematics is reliable. So much miraculous change of inclination and will was the immediate suggestion of the guardian angel of my life. The last effort to avert the storm. Even then, hanging in the stars, ready to envelop me.
Destiny's mutable laws have been freed.
My utter and terrible destruction.
At 17, Victor was about to depart from the University of Ingolstadt when Elizabeth caught scarlet fever. Despite the family's entreaties to refrain from nursing her, Victor's mother, as old then as I am now, tended her ward. trying my utmost to make up for that, Papa.
No retrieving her.
She's not dead, she's only sleeping.
We did everything even remotely useful. I must resign myself.
No!
She slipped away, and you, Mary.
No! God, please!
Resign myself. Cheerfully. You must take her place.
I'll try, Papa.
To death. She casts a long shadow.
But I cannot! Dearest Victor, I will not see you fulfill your bright promise!
We shall reunite in another world.
Alphonse, leave off your false comfort!
It's true.
I don't care! I want to stay! Here! Now! Justine! Madam? Where are you? Mother!
A great woman of compassion and determination. Victor, he, her work will live for generations, and who knows, it must go on, perhaps in some small way, your own way, I should say. We all have a place. We are left here, and I must get to mine. We must continue.
I thought my father would come round if I subsided for a while. Old fellow never succumbs to battering, even after various partings and pleadings.
Persuade him.
He refuses.
I'll see to it.
He won't budge.
Your father is a narrow-minded traitor.
He has my welfare in
He
heart.
has no soul.
University means elegance and room.
Well, my misfortune. I'm yet resolved to slip the chains of commerce. And if only one of us can go to university, it's better you than I.
I won't.
You must go.
He refuses, I refuse.
You must.
You don't, I won't.
I can't. And you must. It is what you are meant to do and to be.
I'm starved for knowledge.
So I see.
Until now, my only teachers have been,
Alchemists?
well, partly.
Alchemists? Have you really spent your time on such nonsense?
Why, yes,
Mr. Frankenstein, if this is your idea of amusing prank, it's a prank gone awry.
they've inspired me, not led into gold.
I should hope not.
What? The secrets of the soul.
That?
We can penetrate these mysteries.
I'm not so sure we want to go down that
We
road.
can conquer disease and even death.
And I know we don't want to go down that road.
You condemn the alchemists just because their methods.
Methods? Every instant you've wasted on these books is utterly and entirely lost. You burden your memory with exploded systems and useless names. Good God, on what desert land have you lived? Where no one was kind enough to inform you that these fancies are 1,000 years old and as musty as they are ancient. A disciple of Albertus Magnus and Paracelsus. Who knows what these have inflicted on your ability to pursue modern thinking?
I'll learn the old and I...
My dear fellow, you must be able to all those antiquated furnishings in your mind and start from the beginning. There's hardly time.
I'm determined.
Oh, are you now?
I plan to devote myself to.
Do you now?
I won't rest until I...
won't you now? They all say that when they arrive, you know, and somehow you never hear another word about it. But when they leave,
The ancient teachers of this science promised everything and performed nothing. The modern masters are a bit more modest. They promise very little. They know that metals cannot be transmuted. They assert that the elixir of life is a chimera. But these moderns whose hands dabble in dirt, whose eyes pore over the microscopic evidence resident in the crucible, have indeed performed miracles. recesses of nature and show how she works in her hiding places. They ascended to the heavens. They've discovered how the blood circulates and the nature of the air we breathe. They have acquired new and almost unlimited powers. They can command the thunders of heaven, mimic the earthquakes, and even mock the invisible world with its own shadows. So much has been done, yet much remains.
More. Far more will I achieve. Pioneer a new way, and unfold to the world the deepest mysteries of creation.
Ah, yes. Cornelius Agrippa, Paracelsus. They have their place, bringing to light certain factors who range in connected classifications. Labor's a man of genius, however, erroneously directed, ultimately turned to the advantage of humanity.
But listening to you, I too want to fathom nature's depths.
Well now, you needn't go that far.
Oh, but I do. I want to go to the end of the earth. No one has ever caught you before. To discover the secrets of life. To decipher the enigma of the universe. I snatch at a thread of hope. Praying for the time and inspiration to weave a little patch in the evolving fabric of human life. I don't sign my name, but I do leave the faintest trace among the path of our common struggle.
Yes, well, how of you?
Scorn me. Scorn my...
With enthusiasm.
I'll settle into a more measured demeanor all too soon, Professor Waldman, but you mustn't dismiss me, just because I nurse a spark of idealism.
Time will extinguish that spark.
As it has yours.
Impertinence!
Why discourage me?
I want to save you dashing down the cul-de-sac.
Science expects dead ends. I'll tumble to the side.
We won't explore those we've already mapped.
I know I'm just starting out, but...
If you want to become a man of science, however, not merely a petty experimentalist, apply to every branch of natural philosophy, including mathematics.
Whence does the principle of life proceed? Anatomy is not sufficient. I must also observe the natural decay of the human body. Will the corruption of death ever succeed the blooming cheek of life? When the worm inherits the eye of the brain, can we reverse this cycle? After days and nights of incredible labor and fatigue, I have succeeded in discovering generation and life. Nay, I am capable of bestowing animation upon lifeless matter. Echo! And I may in process of time renew life where death had apparently devoted the body to corruption.
That's good. Grisly, scientific, and illegal, all in one!
The dissecting room and the slaughterhouse furnished his materials as he devoted heart and soul to this one pursuit.
Is that possible? The laws of nature forbid it.
I imagine, I speculate, one day the laws of science may penetrate the secret. It is clumsy, tracing, patterns, stitching bits together like a patchwork quilter, like a surgeon.
Well, you are pleased with yourself, and with good cause. We all rejoice in your achievements. Think of us with affection, and write regularly. If you let your correspondence lapse, I'll take it your other duties are equally neglected.
I'm a student. I must pursue my studies. Allow me that, Father. Exceptional pursuits prevent tranquil domestic affections. Otherwise...
Greece would not have been enslaved. Caesar would have spared his country, and the empires of Mexico and Peru would not have been destroyed.
This is a dream. A dream. Let me save this moment of amazement and delight. Soon I will awaken and you will vanish. Please do not disappear. It moves. It moves. The gods have blessed my endeavor, and here before me in my waking life, I contemplate my destiny fulfilled. Oh, is it possible? His features, beautiful. His limbs in proportion. The great God. Yellow skin scarcely covers his muscles and arteries. But his black hair, flowing, lustrous, bore in contrast to his watery eyes. Same color of their dun white sockets. His teeth of pearly whiteness. But his black straight lips and shriveled complexion. Destiny as catastrophe. Elizabeth, my love, you here, not a dream? Mother! Shrouded greyworms, crawling the folds of her flannel. Miserable wretch! My God, what have I done? Such a thing even Dante did not conceive. Like one that on lonesome road doth walk in fear and dread, and having once turned round, turns no more his head, for he knows a frightful fiend doth close behind him tread. A being of such ugliness, I must be allowed the chance to set things right.
He has a point. We'll see.
Victor!
Don't you Henry Clerval?
My dear Frankenstein, how glad I am to see you. The instant of my liking.
I too feel the joy in seeing you. Your father has clearly relented.
Only by dint of my near heroic efforts, I persuaded him that some vital knowledge existed outside the noble art of bookkeeping. He kept arguing like the Dutch schoolmaster and the vicar of Wakefield. I have 10,000 florins a year without Greek. I eat heartily without Greek. And in short, as I don't know Greek, there's no good in it. Luckily, his love for me surpasses his contempt for learning. Thus, he has finally capitulated, and financed my voyage of discovery to the land of knowledge.
Oh, how providential.
I am graced, blessed, one of the elect.
And I too in your presence. Tell me all the news. How is my father? My brother? Elizabeth?
Very well, very happy. A little uneasy, hearing from you so seldom.
Something's happened.
No, but my dear Frankenstein, I hardly know you. Your face is ill, gaunt, and pale, as if you haven't slept in several nights.
My dear Henry, you see right through me. I'm exhausted to the marrow. But I finished my work. I'm free.
Then my arrival is most opportune. We'll have deserved holiday.
Oh, empty.
I beg your pardon.
I'm free, like a hawk, gliding, free.
My dear Victor!
We must uncover the aeronautical principles of avian flight. Have you studied Leonardo's notebooks? I will engineer the wings while you recite loftily, soaring, verse, free, free.
What for God's sake is the matter?
Thought I dreamed something. Something unspeakable. When I awoke, I was unsure, but it was a dream. It was a dream, it was.
How ill you are.
If I could tell you, I would, but you know where we... Don't ask. We are at risk. Please, save me. We must think of a way. Somehow there will be a way to...
Victor, wait. Here. Sit. Calm yourself.
How kind. How very good you are to me.
What are friends for?
How shall I ever repay you?
Get well as fast as you can. And I may speak on one subject, may I not?
What?
Please, Victor, compose yourself. Your father and cousin Elizabeth would delight to have a letter from you in your own handwriting. They have no idea how ill you are, but nevertheless they are uneasy at your long silence.
Is that all? My first thought flies to those dear, dear friends who are so deserving of my love.
And you will be glad to see this letter from your cousin.
My dearest cousin, you have been ill.
Forbidden to hold a pen, yet one word from you, dearest Victor, to calm our apprehensions. Return to us and a happy, cheerful home. Your father's health is vigorous, and oh, how pleased you would be to see little darling William. All with sweet, laughing blue eyes, dark eyelashes, curling hair. Since you have left us, but one change has taken place in our little household. Do you remember Justine Moritz?
Of course. She came to live with us after her father died. Her mother could not endure her.
She adored your mother and thought her the model of all excellence, and when she died, Justine was very ill, but other trials were reserved for her. Her brothers and sister died. Her mother, now childless except for Justine, began to think on her sorrows as judgment and called Justine home. Oh, how Justine wept at leaving us, nor did residing again with her mother restore her to gaiety. For some time, Madame Moritz begged Justine to forgive her unkindness and blamed her for having caused the deaths of her brothers and sister. Now, Madame Moritz is at peace forever, and Justine has returned to us. Extremely clever, very gentle, and kind. Otherwise, we go on as we were when you last came home. Right, dearest Victor. One line, one word, would be a blessing to all of us.
I will write at once, Henry. And then you shall meet my professors, who will soon be yours.
Ah, Frankenstein! I must congratulate you on your recovery. You're in your debt, Mr. Frizzle. But what is your health compared to your work? Mere bagatelle, tuppence, trifle?
If he does not fully recover, he cannot resume his work.
My work? Ah, yes. Thank you.
The strides you have taken in your studies.
Please.
Modest as ever, I see. Well, you need be our subject. Natural philosophy itself.
Please.
My friends and viewers on my behalf, Professor Walton, Victor knows I know nothing of such studies. Of course, you might speak of natural philosophy, and I Sanskrit studies, so we feel equally left out.
You have me there.
On the other hand, we could talk more generally of letters, say, or something.
Damn, fellow modesty, Mr. Clerval. Or here's our Stripasol. Oh, stare if you please, it's true. You are the devotee of Cornelius Agrippa. Mind you, Agrippa was law school, and now he's at the top of the university. Oh, it's all very fine when you're young. I myself was well known in youth for modesty when there seemed plenty of time for deserved recognition. But in one's twilight years, time races along and modesty subsides.
As in your case, or so I understand from my friends, it should.
Nicely put, Mr. Purgle. We thank you for your sentiment. We do not stress. We do not, but on occasion, a little basking never harms anyone. Or the odd case of endless acid.
Must one overlook self-deception in one's elders?
It is the wiser course.
She was born with a strut.
I was born with a twisted foot.
This isn't about you.
Well, of course it isn't, my dear. I didn't write it. Don Juan is about me. Child Harold is about me, but Frankenstein, my dear, do allow me some shred of acuity.
I have a prescription. We shall attack Sanskrit together. You'll find melancholy soothing.
How sincerely you love me, friend. And endeavor to elevate my mind to that of your own, but more melancholy may prove too much.
Such a dunce, Victor. You need reminding of life's joys.
I've been much alone, Henry. But having you here, I've realized how much I've lacked your company.
My joys and yours. I shall lock up the Sanskrit.
No need, since I cannot read it.
It's melancholy and sealed, harmless Sanskrit.
With signs for liking its benevolence.
Only your ignorance of Sanskrit makes you deaf to the siren song, Victor. Only my ignorance of science allows me to feed innocence.
Do not remind me.
Please, Victor, be calm.
And upon that calm, I will sow a garden of courage to border forces of optimism. And I will hoist the banner of hope.
Trifle florid, don't you know?
How shall I inflict pain on my long absent son? Even now, your eyes skim the page to seek the word.
William is dead?
Sweet child, smiles delighted and warm my heart. Who is so gentle? Victor, he is
Murdered?
Don't go too far. Last Thursday, I went to walk with Elizabeth and your brother. As usual, he dashed ahead and dallied behind so that we thought nothing of his periodic disappearances. At dusk, however, William was not to be found.
William! William! Come out now. It's time to go home.
Alarmed, we searched till night fell and returned to the house, hoping rather, to find him curled up against the window seat or cradling the cat, because he was not there. We returned to the woods with torches, and it's about 5 in the morning. Discovered my lovely boy, my dearest child. The night before, apple cheek dashed me into the woods, and now, stretched down on the grass, livid and deathly still. The print of the murderer's finger was on his neck. God, I have murdered my darling child!
Elizabeth, what are you saying?
Elizabeth had let William for a valuable miniature of your mother. As a comfort, he begged me. He was distraught over a dream. He awoke, expecting her to appear as usual on the threshold of his room. Then he realized the dream was false and her death the truth, and he was beside himself. So and then his picture is gone and was doubtless the murderer's temptation. Our efforts to discover him are unremitting, but they will not restore my beloved William. Your dear mother. Thank God she did not live long enough to witness this tragic death of her youngest darling.
My dear Frankenstein, your disaster is irreparable.
I must go instantly to Geneva.
I'll go with you.
No, I must face this alone.
Please, Victor, allow me to accompany you. You're already susceptible.
Allow me my grief.
Oh, poor William. He now rests with his angel mother. You sure you want to go alone?
Absolutely.
How much more monstrous the murder to destroy such a radiant innocence. One consolation, he is at rest.
If only that were true.
What else? William was pure.
William, of course.
Farewell, dear friend. and Godspeed.
On my journey home, 1,000 nameless evils overcame me, and by degrees calm the heavenly scene restored me. So vast and awesome are restored my sense of my own limits. The bright summit of Mont Blanc, the black sides of Judah, great mountains and dear lake. How do you welcome your wanderer? Is this to prognosticate peace, or to mock my own happiness? The lake, a vast sheet of fire. William, your angel. This is thy funeral and thy dirge. My first thought, I must tell of what I know of the murderer.
Oh?
Yes, what else?
Better to commandeer a post-chaise and ride hell for leather to the ends of the earth.
I'm not so impulsive. I work within the boundaries of prudence. But how to tell my story?
Mine?
Some say Shelley's. You know well the truth of that scurrility.
I never speak her. Thoughts still tumbling and jumbling, full of half-formed notions, each being interrupted by some other. If another would have told me such stuff, I would have looked upon it as ravings of insanity. In fact, if I listened to myself, I might as well agree. How would I expect otherwise?
You expect to persuade us?
I expect nothing.
Oh, then
Nor do I hope. I simply report my condition.
a bit feeble, you must admit.
I admit nothing.
My dear fellow, I dare help your mischief as in years. Kindly refrain from it just...
I am merely playing out the destiny she decreed.
No gumption!
How else may I choose?
Definitely rejected the post-chaise then. At least one other course springs to mind.
Ignore him.
But I need to know.
That insatiable curiosity again. See a bounder?
He is deeply frightened. His thoughts are fragmented. Voices jangle in his head. He has not foreseen the implication.
That explains it then.
But what?
Nothing. I simply spoke out of turn. I have misread your character.
Is that in the apology?
You like.
Besides, even if I had the resources to, of what good would we pursue? A creature capable of scaling Mount Celeb. I must hold my peace.
Hold thy peace and I prithee. Hold thy peace. I prefer to have another hold my peace. Almost any other.
You are in the presence of a lady.
You were not referring to the daughter of the hyena in petticoats, I trust.
Must I remain silent?
For now, one can always revise.
Later I can come forward, can't I?
I should think so.
It is possible. Although,
Sometimes when one's character is fully formed.
he is still evolving.
Not that you would know anything about character.
Oh dear. Even if it is fully formed, one can't always turn back.
Father!
If only you had come 3 months ago, when we were all joyous and delighted. But now Elizabeth torments herself. She most of all requires consolation, but since the murderer has been discovered...
Good God! How? What? Impossible! One might try to overtake the winds or confine a mountain stream with a straw.
What are you saying?
The murderer was free last night.
I do not know what you mean.
Nor I. I am not myself.
I suppose I'd feel satisfaction, relief in apprehending. But our discovery only compounds our misery. Who can believe it? Even now, Elizabeth will not be convinced. Indeed, who can credit that Justine Morris...
Justine?
Exactly. Everyone reacts as you do. So So amiable and fond of all the family. Such appalling a crime.
No one believes it, surely.
Circumstances and her own behavior add to a fact weight that leaves no hope for doubt, but she'll be tried today. And then you will hear all.
I know the murderer.
That is that we didn't. Better be forever ignorant and to find so much depravity and ingratitude. We sheltered her from her heritage of a mother. We thought her an angel in our midst.
My dear father, you are mistaken. Poor, good Justine must be innocent. She must be.
The odds are slim, but I do hope for her acquittal.
Has to be all, surely. Madness.
The only explanation. As we all know, madness can strike anyone. Poor girl.
Survive. No one will believe. Be set loose upon the world, what will?
Alas, to who is safe if Justine is condemned?
She cannot be.
First that lovely, darling boy, and now this poor girl. Justine is convicted. I shall grieve forever, but she will not be. She will not. I'm sure she will not.
We must look forward to her acquittal.
Everyone else believes she is guilty. I feel alone, hopeless, and despairing. Dearest niece, dry your tears. Rely on the justice of our laws. Father, I am praying every moment for justice. We are alert to even a shadow of partiality.
A thousand times would I rather confess myself guilty. But I was absent when the crime was committed. A declaration, ravings of a madman. Would not have heard who suffered.
Oh, Mr. Frankenstein. Shame. Shame. When your mother, Madam Frankenstein.
My mother, yes, I miss her.
Me too. At first, I was completely at a loss. My own mother had been indifferent. She rejected me. And Madam Frankenstein took me to her heart. It was a lady, a stranger at the side of the road, and she offered me refuge and affection. Even more closely did she shelter and comfort me after my own natural mother.
However unnatural.
After my own finally gave up her soul to a just reward, and then she herself, nursing Elizabeth, died, and I was wild with grief, torn by, unable to. Elizabeth herself brought me out of my nearly fatal condition. I was the servant, the orphan, delirium, the doctor said, hysteria.
Yes, yes, I know.
They found the picture in my pockets. They found. How is it possible?
Certain mental states, one is swept away, and so perhaps it is possible that one cannot remember.
You think that I was transported out of my mind?
I think other states of consciousness are possible.
God knows how entirely I'm innocent. I hope the character I've always borne will incline my judges to interpret favorably any doubtful or suspicious circumstance.
It will mitigate.
I passed a sleepless night searching for William and was bewildered. The miniature weighs fatally against me, and I cannot explain it. I can only conjecture how someone might have placed it in my pocket. But even now I am checked. I believe I have no enemy on earth, and none surely would be so wicked as to destroy me wantonly. Did the murderer place it there?
place your trust in the court of justice?
I do. I commit my cause to the justice of my judges till I see no room for hope. I beg to have witnesses testify to my character, and if their testimony doesn't outweigh my supposed guilt, I shall be condemned. Although I pledge my salvation on my innocence.
Oh God! And if she is not acquitted, if I speak, he'll know that I know. Please, God, her innocence will prevail and sustain her, and grant me time to track him.
Educated by his parents long before his birth, but when I see a fellow creature about to perish through her pretended friend's cowardice, I must say what I know of her character. She's a murderer!
Order!
I have lived in the same house with her, not one time for 5, and another for nearly 2 years. When she appeared the most amiable and benevolent of human creatures, she nursed Madame Frankenstein, my aunt, in her last illness with the greatest affection and care. And afterwards, attended her own mother during a tedious illness, exciting the admiration of all who knew her. She was attached to William, like an affectionate mother. I believe and rely on her perfect innocence. As to the bauble on which the chief proof rests, if she would have asked, I would have willingly given it to her. So much do I esteem and value her. She would have had no need. She had no need to steal it.
Her innocence will prevail and sustain her.
Tell me, Victor.
As you may have expected, all judges would rather 10 innocents suffer than 1 guilty escape. But you won't believe this.
Nothing can surprise me.
She has confessed.
No!
I couldn't believe it myself, but...
How shall I ever again trust in human goodness? Justine, whom I loved and esteemed as my sister. How can you smile innocently only to betray? You seem guileless yet have committed a murder! Let me be!
I must speak.
Let her be.
Allow me another course. Give me another choice.
You must reject your creation and end in failure.
I am a scientist that has unleashed a power that exceeded his own expectations.
Please take your place.
If he were welcome.
Go on.
I could recapture his first benign impulses.
Too late.
How can you rob me of my last consolation? I was wretched when I relied on your innocence. But now I am in despair, as am I.
And I.
And do you also believe I'm wicked? Do you also crush and condemn me as a murderer? Why do you kneel if you're innocent? I believe you're guiltless despite every evidence. Till I heard you had yourself declared your guilt.
How often must I say it? Unless you confess, I cannot grant absolution. You'll be cast into eternal fire. Abandon his pretense. Beg for forgiveness. Cast yourself upon God's mercy.
I confess a lie! I confess to obtain absolution, and know that fault of life heavier at my heart than all of my other sins. The God of heaven, forgive me. Ever since I was condemned, you have besieged me.
Monster!
No! I've been dizzy with the unspeakable possibilities. I have lost my way.
My technique, if you had remained steadfast under such an assault.
Friend excommunication!
But you capitulated!
And hellfire at my last moment if I stood my ground! My confession
You mustn't despair. Learn from me, dear lady, to submit in patience to the will of heaven.
Who dares talk of despair?
Dear sir, you were very kind to visit me. You, I hope, do not believe that I am guilty. If it were possible, Victor is more convinced of your innocence than I. He does not credit your confession. So sweet is your affection. I can die in peace, know that you, dear lady, and your cousin affirm my innocence. Please, sir, console yourself. I am in peace. I want to die with you. I cannot live in this world of misery. May this be the last misfortune you will ever suffer. Live and be happy and make others so.
Shall be heard.
No one could have loved a child more than I loved your brother. But you must not have meant her unhappiness with a moderate grief. When I reflect, dear cousin, on Justine's death, I see an alien world. Before, I thought vice and injustice were imaginary evils, but now misery has come home and men are monsters thirsting for each other's blood. And falsehood can look so much like the truth. Who can rely on happiness? We must carry on. William and Justine were assassinated and their murderer walks free. I would rather suffer on the scaffold for the same crime than change places with such a wretch.
Your dear faces mirror my own grief. And I, who have spent my life serving you, bid you weep, shed countless tears, and thus we shall satisfy fate. Allow me this faint happiness. Otherwise, take me as your companion away from the joys of life. Devil! You approach me, hope that I can extinguish your miserable existence and restore those you have murdered.
How dare you sport thus with life? Do your duty toward me, and I'll do mine towards you and the rest of mankind.
Devil! You reproach me? Oh, that I could extinguish the spark I so negligently ignited.
Be calm. Have I not suffered enough?
What is that? Those dear lives lost.
Why increase my misery? I am thy creature, and I'll be ever mild and docile to my natural Lord and King. But you must do your part.
I have. Would that I had not.
I ought to be your Adam, but I am rather your Lucy. Make me happy, and again I shall be virtuous. Life that has only been accumulated anguish, dear to me.
I steered those lives you snatched.
How can I move you? Am I not alone? All alone. You, my Creator, abhor me. Your fellow creatures spurn and hate me. Shall I not hate them who abhor me?
I will not hear you. We are enemies.
Do not disdain me. The guilty are allowed, blooded as they are, to speak in their own defense before they are condemned. You would call me a murderer. Yet you destroy the work of your own hands. Is that not murder? And did you not stand silent as Justine mounted the gallows?
I expected an acquittal. I did not want to show my hand and to pursue you more effectively.
You were terrified.
I was paralyzed by the results of my arrogance.
Arrogance stops your ears. Now listen to me. And then, if you will destroy the work of your own hands.
I cannot. Consider if I'm just to you to relieve me. Relieve me from the sight of detested form.
Thus I relieve you. Why did you concoct something you find repulsive?
I did not know. Had I realized the risk, I would have withdrawn my wager.
You would have chosen otherwise? Well, now I present you with another choice. You will decide whether lead a harmless life, or terrorize your fellow creatures and speed your ruin.
I am already ruined.
You have made me taller, suppler. Even so, I refuse to attack you. Did I request thee, maker from my clay, to mold me a man? Did I solicit thee from darkness to provoke me?
Please, spare me. I cannot have foreseen my success.
You refuse to hear my story?
On the contrary, I am desperate for some hint of an explanation.
I am hard pressed to remember my order. Events are confused, blurred. Many sensations seized me. I saw, heard, smelled at the same time. I worked to distinguish one sense from another. Light pressed on my nerves. I had to close my eyes. Darkness controlled me. I opened my eyes. Light put it again. Then, dark, opaque bodies, impervious to my touch or sight, and surrounded me. I won at liberty. With the light becoming increasingly oppressive and heat fatiguing, I found shade in the forest, ate berries from the trees, drank from a brook, and awoke, cold and desolation. A poor, miserable wretch. I sat down and wept. Then, a radiant form rising from the trees. By its light, I found more berries, and under a tree, a huge cloak. Days and nights passed. I learned the stream for drink, the foliage for shade. I tried to express myself, but my uncouth and inarticulate sounds frightened me into silence. The moon disappeared, then reappeared in a lesser form. I began to distinguish insect from herb, one herb from another. The sparrow's notes were harsh, but those of a blackbird and thrush were sweet and enticing. I found an abandoned fire, felt warmth, such a delight. I thrust my hand into the embers. One cause, but such opposite effects. I discovered the fire was made out of wood, and so I collected some branches, but they would not burn because they were wet. And the wet branches I placed near the flame, dried and flamed. Having made this discovery, I collected great quantities to dry so that I might have a plentiful supply. When night came, I feared for the fire, so I covered it with dry leaves and wood and placed with branches over top. When I uncovered it in the morning, a breeze fanned it into flame, so I made a fan of my own, so that I may rouse the embers when they were nearly extinguished. Fire gave heat as well as light, and so I went to go search for food. I found the roasted remains of some traveler's meal. I imitated their manner. They spoiled the berries, but much improved the nuts and roots. I had to find food, although I lamented losing my fire, which I did not know how to reproduce. I wandered in a great snowfall for 3 days when I came upon a small hut with its door open. An old man preparing his breakfast by the fire. Seeing me, he sped across the field. I entered, devoured his breakfast, slept, set out again. Discovering this charming village with huts, cottages, milk and cheese at the windows, vegetables in the gardens. I had hardly placed my foot upon the threshold when...
What is it?
Oh, some fled, some attacked me till bruised. I took refuge in the low, bare hovel, safe of the inclement season. Such barbarous men! My hovel stood adjacent to a cottage, near a clear pool of water. I covered every crevice with stones and wood. I carpeted my dwelling, clean straw. I stole a coarse loaf of bread and a cup to drink from the pool. Compared to the bleak forest, this was a paradise. I was safe, dry, quiet, and safe. One morning, after breakfast, I found a small chink in my dwelling. I saw a whitewashed room, bare of furniture. I saw a young man standing by the fire, and a young girl who sat down beside an old man who picked up an instrument called guitar, I later learned. It produced sounds far sweeter than the voice of the thrush, or even that of the nightingale. A lovely sight, even to me, especially to me, who had never beheld anything beautiful before. The fair creature knelt and sobbed at his feet. Then he raised her and smiled with such kindness and affection that I felt sensations of pain and pleasure, such I had never experienced from hunger or cold, food or warmth, and I withdrew. Later in the evening, The young man began to utter, but not this sound. Unlike the old man's instrument, or that of the bird's songs. I knew nothing then of the science of words and letters, but I had since found that he read aloud. Nothing could exceed the love and respect the young Martin displayed towards the old man, who I soon saw was blind. Yet, they were not entirely happy, and often went apart and wept. If such lovely creatures were miserable, it was less strange that I, imperfect and solitary, should be wretched. I felt an affinity. What did their tears imply? One cause was poverty. They gave their food to the old man, keeping none for themselves. Seeing the effect of my stealing from their store, I stopped and made do with the nuts, berries, and roots. I found a way on how to repay the cottagers. The youth spent the better part of each day gathering wood. So one night, I took their tools. And brought home fuel for several days. The first time I did this, they were astonished to see the great pile of wood left at their door. Gradually, I discovered they made articulate sounds, words that sometimes produced pain, pleasure, smiles or sadness, a God-like science I ardently wished to learn, but I was baffled, lacking any clue, connecting any words with any visible objects. Over several revolutions of the moon, I learned fire, milk, bread, and wood. The old man has only one name, Father. The girl, sister, or Agatha. The youth, Felix, brother, or son. When they were unhappy, I felt oppressed. But when they rejoiced, I rejoiced with them. The old man often encouraged his children to cast off their melancholy. Agatha responded, but Felix, wrapped in sadness, continued to read aloud, uttering many of the same sounds when he spoke. I knew nothing then of his science, but I had since found that he read aloud. I longed to comprehend these also. But how? When I did not even understand the sounds for which they stood as signs. I improved in the science of words and letters, but I knew I'd have to master their language if they were to overlook my deformity. When I first saw myself in the pool, I knew I was the monster that others saw. I was despondent, mortified. Even then I did not realize the fatal effects of my different days became warmer, and lights longer. Food became more plentiful as new plants sprang up in the garden. The signs of comfort increased daily as the season advanced. My thoughts, it quickened. I wanted to know why Agatha was so miserable and feeling so sad. Foolish wretch! I thought I might restore their happiness. You would be disgusted until my gentle demeanor and conciliating words would win their favor, and then their love. And so I doubled my effort to acquire their language. One night, while collecting food for myself and wood for my protectors, I found a leather portmanteau containing some books. Eagerly, I seized the prize. Paradise Lost, Plutarch's Lives, Sorrows of Werther. I learned from young Werther that adults are like children. They wander around and do not know from whence they come, nor where they are going. Further, they rarely act from genuine motives and are governed as children by biscuits and cake and the rod. I have also learned that many of them have observed that life is but a dream. Werther's dispositions upon suicide filled my wonder, and I wept over his death. He will create a world from within himself and be happy because he is a man. He still preserves in his heart the sweet sensation, freedom, knowledge to quit this world whenever he wishes. Such nobility! As I read, I applied much to my own feelings and condition, similar, yet unlike upon the beings whom I read. Who was I? Whence did I come? What was my destination? These questions continually reoccurred, and I had no idea how to answer them. Plutarch elevated me above the wretched sphere of my own reflections, and taught me to love and admire the heroes of past ages. Oh, how can I describe the rose in my heart? The greatest ardor of virtue, the deepest abhorrence for vice filled my being. And then, in Paradise Lost, an omnipotent God warring with his creatures aroused my awe. Like Adam, I had no link to any other being, but he had come forth from the hand of God, perfect, while I was helpless and alone.
I never pretended to be God. I never...
Sometimes I considered Satan, not Adam, a bitter emblem for my condition.
Far bitter.
And then, confirming those feelings, I found your journal the 4 months preceding my creation, in the book of the great taken from your laboratory. I sickened as I read. Hateful day when I received life. Why did you form a creature so hideous that even you reject me?
I did not intend it so. I thought only for the good of humanity.
God made man, beautiful and alluring, after his own image. Even Satan had his companion, but I am solitary and abhorrent. I chose not to despair, but to rely on the cottagers. I had since found the secret of their sorrows. And one day, a young Arabian woman named Safi had joined them. Her father had suffered a false imprisonment in Paris. Felix had risked his all to free the man. This deed caused the downfall of the family. But now, his beloved Safi restored to him their melancholy lifted. I felt indebted to Safi, because Felix taught her language and history, which I learned as well. I felt a deeper bond with the family, knowing that they too had suffered injustice. One morning, the young cottagers went out for a walk, leaving the old man to his guitar. I summoned my courage and approached the door.
Who is there?
It is I, a traveler, needing rest. If you would allow me to suffer for your fire.
I will do what I can. My children are away, and I am blind. Procuring food will be difficult.
Oh, I have food. I need only warmth and rest. I'm about to claim the protection of friends, upon whom I love, and to whose favor I hope. You see, I have no friend or relation on this earth. These friends to whom I go have never seen me, and I'm afraid, for if I fail, I shall be an outcast in this world forever.
Do not despair. To be friendless is indeed unfortunate, but men's hearts can be full of charity. Rely on your hope.
My life has been hitherto harmless, and in some degree beneficial. But a fatal prejudice clouds my friends' eyes, for they should see a friend to behold only a monster.
If you really are blameless, can you not undeceive them?
I have, for many months, done acts of kindness anonymously for them, yet they still believe I wish to injure them, and I must overcome that prejudice.
Where do they reside?
Near here.
I cannot judge your countenance, but your words persuade me that you are sincere. If you would confide in me, I may be useful to you.
Excellent, man. Your kindness raises me from the dust. By your aid, I believe I shall not be driven from society and sympathy of your fellows.
Heaven forbid, even if you were a criminal, for that can only drive you to desperation. I and my family are also unfortunate, condemned though innocent. Therefore, I feel for your misfortune.
From your lips, I have heard the voice of kindness. Your humanity reassures me of success.
What are your friends' names and residence?
Answering you means the loss or gain of happiness forever. Oh!
I hear my children returning. Perhaps they will help
Please,
me.
now, save me, protect me. You and your family are the friends to whom I seek. Please do not desert me at my hour of trial.
Good God, who are you?
The children. That's passion right now. Agatha made me feel it for me from the father. Took me to the guy struck me with a stick. I could have torn him limb from limb. As the lion rends the antelope. But I refrained. In my heart, sunk. I escaped from the tumult, unpersevered, and returned to my hovel. When my protectors departed, thus broke the only link I had to this world. Unable to injure anything human, I took my fury out upon an inanimate object. A fierce wind tore along the mighty, mountainside like an avalanche. It caused a type of insanity in my spirits at first, till bounds of reason and reflection. I placed festivals around the cottage. I waited until moon had sunk, and waved my lighted brand. It set fire to the straws heaped and wood I collected. I fled the scene, intent upon finding my fathers, upon whom I could apply more fittingly than the one who had created me. I directed my steps towards Geneva, traveling under the cover of night and resting during the day. One afternoon, near deep, rapid river, a young girl slipped and fell into the stream. I ran out of my recess and pulled her to shore, where she lay, senseless. Then a rustic came and tore it from my arms. And when I followed, he shot me in the arm. This then was the reward of my benevolence. Daily, I vowed revenge. Reaching Geneva, I slept and awoke to a child's laughter.
William, come out now. It's time to go home.
This creature would know nothing of my deformity. And if I could teach them to love and admire me, and be as my companion, I should not be so desolate. Please, wait! I will not hurt you!
Monster! Wretch! Let me go! You want to eat me and tear me to pieces! Let me go or I will tell my papa!
You must come with me!
My father is a syndic, Monsieur Frankenstein. He will punish you!
Frankenstein? Then you belong to my enemy, upon whom I've sworn eternal revenge! You shall be my first victim! To the rest, you must have pieced together by now. I took the portrait from his breast pocket and hid in a barn where a young woman was sleeping. Awake, fairest, thy lover is near. He would give his life for one look of affection. She stirred. Would she see me, curse me, and denounce me? No, no, not I. But she shall suffer the crime that I have committed, because I am forever robbed of companionship. She shall atone. Thanks to the sanguinary laws of man and the history lessons from Felix, I learned how to work mischief. I slipped the portrait into the folds of her dress. I am alone and miserable. One is informed of myself and not deny herself to me. One of the same species and same defects. You must create.
I refuse.
Oh, I beg you, have mercy. I am malicious because I am miserable. We shall be monsters, but on that apart, or attack to one another.
I cannot.
Do not deny me. I swear to you, we shall live within the neighborhood of man and live in the most savage of places. My evil passions will flee. And when I die, I will not curse my Maker.
You swear to be harmless?
My vices are the children of forced solitude, upon whom I abhor. My virtue will necessarily rise when I live in communion with an equal.
As soon as I deliver you a companion.
You will do it?
Who will go with you in your exile.
You will give me a mate?
You must swear to quit Europe.
Oh, I swear.
And every other place within the neighborhood of man.
Oh, by the fire that burns in my heart, by the blue skies in heaven above, by all these I swear.
Then I will apply myself.
Oh, you are merciful.
Please.
And when you are ready, I shall be there.
What have I done? Oh, that I might disappear. Stars, winds, leave me in darkness.
The other day I thought I knew why. I hope you will confirm my supposition if I am correct. I have always assumed that you and Elizabeth would marry. She has long since been your sister. You may not wish to become your wife. You may even have another in mind.
Please, Father, you may...
Feeling honored bound to Elizabeth, you are caught in a dilemma, struggling to break free, clearly miserable.
Please, Father, reassure yourself. I love Elizabeth, and I hope to have my future bound with her.
I cannot tell you how happy this makes me. Why suffer this gloom a moment longer? Let the marriage go forward now.
My studies.
All as you wish. Speak freely, please.
If only I could. But I have a promise to keep. In my heart, Father, I wish to marry immediately. But there is one impediment, however. Some business in England that cannot wait. A few months, at most a year, and then I will return and marry.
If this journey rouses you from your melancholy, Victor, then I am glad for it. Return to us restored. Your union with Elizabeth will gladden my waiting years.
Actions mention your heart's intentions. We'll find out. We'll find out. Is your mind mistaken? Is your conscience not at ease? We'll find out.
Oh, my dear friend,
Find out.
have you ever seen such a natural beauty?
You strive.
This is what it is to live. Now I enjoy existence.
Oh, that I could say the same.
I've seen the most beautiful scenes in my own country, Victor. The lakes of Lucerne and Uri, the mountains of La Vallée and Pays de Vaud. But this country, Victor, pleases me more than all those wonders. Yes, the mountains of Switzerland are more majestic, but this divine river has unequal charm. Look at the castle, overhanging the precipice, and another on the island, nearly hidden by foliage. Those laborers coming down from their vines, that village, half concealed in the mountain's recess. Surely the soul of the spirit that inhabits this place moves more harmoniously with man than that of the glaciers or inaccessible peaks of our own country.
You yourself are formed in the poetry of nature. Your wild imaginings only chastened by your heart. Your friendship devoted.
A feeling and a love, with no need for a remoter charm. By thoughts applied or any interest, I'm barred from the eye. You must have a care for your own well-being.
I feel distance from mankind, Henry. I see the blood of William, and have just seen.
Travel. Travel will restore your peace of mind.
He is always over my shoulder. Oh, may I satisfy him. I am unfit for civilized society, Henry. It's best I finish my tour alone.
I would rather be with you in your solitary ramble than with people I do not know.
Help to return with a lighter heart, one more like your own.
Hurry, for in your absence I cannot feel at home.
She has not sworn to quit the company of man, and she may yet refuse. He loathes his own deformities. Could you not conceive even greater abhorrence for her? For in turn, he may disgust her. Worse, they could propagate a race of devils. My promise is all wickedness.
Forgive my intrusion. I am merely marking your progress.
You are malicious.
I come to claim your promise.
How could I have agreed to your condition?
Fool! What have you done?
I will never set loose upon the world another like you. Wicked and deformed. Never.
Slave! I am the master, obey!
I am resolved. I will never create another like you. One who delights in murder. One with whom you can propagate a race of monsters. However ambivalent I have felt, I am determined on this course. Go.
Am I to be alone? All alone? While you are to be happy. And I am left to grovel in the intensity of my wretchedness. Will ask for with all my other passions. Only one thing remains, dearer than life or food. Revenge!
Stop! Your words cannot make me beg.
I shall be with you on your wedding night.
Villain, before you sign my death warrant, secure your own safety.
Last night, fishing with my son and brother-in-law, a strong blast blew up, so we put on the fort. Walking from the harbor, I stumbled and fell over a man's corpse.
At first we thought he had drowned, but his clothes were dry and his body still warm. Young fellow, strangled, black marks around his neck.
I saw a boat push off from the spot where you found the body.
And I saw the same boat this gentleman landed in just offshore, before we found the corpse.
Still warm it was. He sent to the apothecary. Too late.
Fair, sir.
I'm not sure I can look. Henry! Two already destroyed, and others await their destiny but you. My friend! My benefactor!
Now, sir.
I've killed William, and Justine, and Henry! Help me to destroy the fiend. Please. Oh, he is choking me. I can't. Help!
Sing me to sleep, sing me to sleep. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. Sing me to sleep, sing me to sleep. And then leave me alone. Don't try to wake me in the morning, 'cause I will be gone. Don't feel bad for me, I want you to know. Deep in the cell of my heart, I will feel so glad to go.
We got an out first.
I think so. Although, if this was no dream, I dread being alive. The misery and the horror.
Oh, you're right there. You'd be better off dead, for they say we'll go hard with you.
Do they now?
None of my concern. Of course, I'm only to nurse you, get you well. I do my duty with a clear conscience. Where it'll be a better place if more can say the same.
What news? What new scene of death? Whose am I now to lament?
Your family is well and someone come to visit.
No! Do not let him in, please. I cannot see him.
I should have expected you to welcome your father.
My father! You are are safe, and Elizabeth.
All well, asking for your health, dear Victor. What a wretched place! What fatality pursues you? Poor Henry.
A horrible destiny hangs over me, Father. But I must fulfill it. Otherwise, I should have died on Henry's coffin.
The grand jury has rejected the bill since the evidence clearly shows you in your case when the body was found.
You are free, Victor. We must leave for Geneva.
Dungeon or palace, this place is equally as hateful. Even now, Henry's eyes languish in death. The fiend's watery gaze. The monster at my throat.
Victor, I have done everything I can to help you stop off these melancholy moods. You mustn't give way to despair or misplaced shame. Having to face the charge of murder has weighed you down with a sense of disgrace, but you must put that behind you.
Justine suffered the same charge, and she both died for it.
Yes. Well, we all regret that.
Why? I am the cause. I killed her.
Victor, please calm yourself.
I killed William and Justine and Henry.
My dearest Victor, you are overwrought. What is this delusion that grips you?
Let the heavens bear me witness. I'm the assassin to these innocents.
There now, my son. You must rest.
1,000 times would I rather shed my blood drop by drop. If it meant I could have saved these lives.
You must calm these wild imaginings.
But I could not, Father. I could not. I cannot save the whole human race.
We will ignore them. We will not speak them again.
My dear friend, how much you have suffered, yet I hope to see peace in your countenance and to find that your heart retains some tranquility and comfort. The conversation I had with my uncle makes an explanation necessary before we meet. I dare not delay any longer writing what I've often wished to express but have lacked the courage to say. Since we were infants, your parents desired our union, yet just as brother and sister often feel a lively affection without desiring a more intimate union, may this not also be true of us? Answer me with simple truth, do you not love another?
Sweet and beloved Elizabeth.
When I saw you last autumn, so unhappy, flying to solitude, I supposed you might regret our connection, yet feel honor-bound to fulfill your parents' wishes. I confess I love you.
Oh, my dear.
Yet, you must freely choose to marry Victor. Be assured, be happy, and if you accede to this request, nothing will interrupt my tranquility, whether or not we marry. If I know you are happy, I shall need no other happiness.
I will be with you on your wedding night.
And if you kill me, I will be at peace. But if I kill you, I will be free.
You dare to hope for the happiness you have denied me?
Adrift, homeless, penniless, and alone, but with my treasure, Elizabeth, who will aid me to endure the remorse and guilt. And yet, you may strike at any moment. So why should I postpone? All I may yet enjoy is centered in you.
Chase away your fears. To you alone do I consecrate my life and my endeavors for contentment.
I have one secret, Elizabeth. A dreadful one.
I will tell this tale the day after our marriage. But there must be perfect confidence between us.
Let us cling closer and transfer our love for those lost to those we outlive. Our circle will be small, but bound by ties of affection and mutual misfortune. And when time shall have softened your despair, new and clear objects of care will be born to replace those torn from us.
I will be with you.
freedom from despair this one day allows me.
This lively joy is not painted in my face. My heart is contented. Something whispers, do not depend too much on the prospect before us, but I refuse to listen to such a sinister voice. Oh, how quickly the current carries us. Now the clouds, now obscured, now reveal the peak of Mont Blanc, and the fish swimming in the water so clear we can make out every pebble at the bottom. Such a divine day, how serene nature seems.
Seems, yes.
What agitates you, Victor? What is it you fear?
Peace. Peace, my love. I am a nervous bridegroom.
And I a nervous bride.
After tonight, all will be safe, but tonight is dreadful. Very dreadful. You must retire. I will join you soon.
I cannot leave you in such a state.
Please, do as I say. I will explain it all in the morning. Good night.
Good night.
I will watch and I will pray, and if you appear... Oh my God! Why am I left alive, only to relate the destruction of the best hope and purest creature on earth?
She was there,
Lifeless and inanimate,
thrown across the bed,
her head hanging down, her pale and distorted features half covered by her hair. Everywhere I turn, I see the same figure, her bloodless arms, and her relaxed form flung by its murderer over the bridal bier.
Scream! Rage! As I when you destroy my...
Elizabeth! Elizabeth!
Dumped her body into the molten rock. Floated to the surface and it did not ignite. She rose up slowly and walked to the shore. She stood up on the bank and she whispered, I'll find you and I'll kill you. I'll find you and I'll kill you. I'll find you and I'll kill you.
You must also add one more death to the list. When my father lost his charm and his delight, his Elizabeth, his more than daughter, whom he doted on with all the affections that a man in the decline of life clings to more earnestly, to those that still remain. Suddenly, the springs of life gave way, and in a few days he died in my arms. It was at this moment I was determined to pursue the destroyer to death.
Be assured, sir, we shall spare no pains to discover the villain.
The story is too connected to be mistaken for a dream, and I have no motive for falsehood. It is your duty as magistrate to exert your whole power.
I would put you my every aid in your pursuit, but how would this be a matter of such power? Who could follow such an animal? Besides, months of luck, he could be anywhere.
I'm sure he hovers nearby. And if he has taken refuge in the Alps, he can be hunted like a chamois, or destroyed like a great beast of prey, but you doubt my narrative.
You are mistaken.
You do not intend to pursue my enemy.
If we can seize him, he shall suffer proportionate punishment. Even so, you should prepare to accept his appointment.
Never! I have one just demand, and I plan to devote myself in life or death to his destruction.
Control yourself, and consider the story of such mountains of delirium.
How ignorant you are of the pride of your wisdom. Speak not, for you know not what you say. by the sacred earth, by the shades that wander near thee, and by my deep and eternal grief, I swear to thee, and to the spirits that reside within thee, to pursue this demon until here I shall perish in mortal conflict. It is for this purpose I plan to preserve my life. May I once again behold the sun, and tread the green herbage of earth that would otherwise vanish before my eyes forever. I call on you, spirits of the dead, and on you, ministers of vengeance. Aid me in my work. Let this hellish monster drink deep of agony. Let him taste the despair that now torments me.
I am satisfied, miserable wretch. You have determined to live, and I am satisfied.
I will follow the windings of the Rhone, to the blue Mediterranean, to the Black Sea, amidst the wilds of Tartary and Russia. Sometimes the peasants, still scared by this horrid apparition, inform me of his path, yet he himself still leaves some mark to guide me. I am cursed by some devil, and I carry with me my eternal hell. But I do believe the spirit of good follows and directs my steps. When I'm hungry, and I sink under exhaustion, a coarse repast appears set there like one the peasants would eat. And when all is dry, the heavens cloudless, and I am parched by thirst, clouds seem to bedim the sky and shed the few drops that revive me. In sleep alone, I taste joy.
Your cousin and playmate.
The noble art of bookkeeping.
Too sincere a love.
Heaven, where we shall all be happy.
Nothing on earth shall disturb my tranquility.
Together we shall undertake the voyage of discovery to the land of knowledge.
To resign myself cheerfully to death and indulge a hope.
The spirits sometimes visited my waking hours, and they persuaded me that they had lived. It was at this moment that vengeance died in my heart, and I was determined to pursue this demon as a task enjoyed by heaven, than as the ardent desire of my soul.
My reign is not yet over. You still live, and my power is complete. Follow me to the everlasting ices of the north, where you will feel cold and frost, to which I am impervious.
Scoffing devil!
You will find the dead hare, eat and be refreshed.
Vengeance, torture, and death.
Come on now, my enemy. We have yet to wrestle for our lives.
And then I will join Elizabeth and my childhood friends as reward for this tedious and horrible pilgrimage.
Your toils have just begun. Wrap yourself in furs. Provide food. Soon your sufferings will satisfy my everlasting hatred.
How unlike the blue seasons of the south. The ocean is only to be distinguished from land by its superior wilderness and ruggedness. The Greeks wept for joy as they beheld the Mediterranean from the hills of Asia, and hailed with rapture at the boundary of their toils. I did not weep, but I thank you, guiding spirit, for conducting me safely. Help me to intercept him before he reaches the beach. Too late. He arrived the night before.
The guns and the pistols took our food, dogs, sledge, and went off across the sea, where, mark my words, he will freeze to death. Or the ice will break him.
Not he.
Bound by ties of affection.
My papa will punish you.
Think of me as one unjustly condemned.
Unjustly condemned. I cannot feel at home in your absence.
My heart is contented.
Bound by ties of affection.
Hasten, dear friend.
Think of
I
me
cannot feel at home in
as
your
one
absence.
My heart is
unjustly condemned.
contented.
As one who will
Bound
judge
by
you
ties
condemned.
of affection.
My papa will punish you.
My heart is contented.
Hasten, dear friend. I
Think
cannot
of
feel at
me
home in your
as
absence.
one
My papa will punish you.
condemned.
Bound by
Hasten,
ties of
dear friend.
affection.
I
My
cannot feel at
papa will
home in your
punish
absence.
My
you.
heart is contented. My heart is contented.
I must give up. No more than a mile distant. was all over in a few minutes, and I was left there on a scattered piece of ice that was continually lessening, preparing me for a horrible death. But then, I spotted your vessel sailing at anchor, and
the rest I know.
Must I die and he yet live? Swear to me, Walton, he shall not live. He is eloquent and persuasive, and at once his words had power over my heart. But trust him not, hear him not. Call on the names of William, Justine, Henry, Elizabeth, and my father, and the wretched Victor, and plunge your sword deep into his heart. I will hover nearby to direct the steel aright. And trust me. Make me trust you. Swear to me he shall not live.
I would give anything to know the particulars of the creature's formation.
Are you mad? Learn from my miseries. Do not increase your own.
I have learned.
That will be madness lies.
How I wish I could comfort you.
Cold comfort. I find comfort only in my dreams. When I was young, I believed I was destined for greatness. That I would achieve great things. And above all else, be helpful to my fellow humans. When I first thought of the creature, a rational animal, I ranked myself above the herd. This thought buoyed me at the beginning of my career, but now it plunged me deep into agony. Like the archangel who aspires to omnipotence, I am another Lucifer chained in an eternal hell. If you knew me as I once was, Walton, you would not recognize me as I am now.
Please do not say such things. You must take heart. I feel as if I have just found in you the friend I have longed for. You must sustain your spirits. You must reconcile yourself to life.
I appreciate your feelings, Walton. But do you really think I could form new ties of affection? Plagued as I am with the thoughts of those who are gone? Wherever I am, the thoughts of Henry will be ever in my ear. And the soft soothing voice of Elizabeth. What's more, later friendship can hardly touch those that were formed as children. They are gone, and I am bereft. I would preserve my life if only I were engaged in some high design that promised to be useful to my fellow humans. That is not my destiny. I am not meant to fulfill such an undertaking. But rather to destroy the being to whom I gave life. I have failed so far. But once the task is complete, I will join my childhood friends in death.
My beloved sister, these papers may never reach you yet. I am compelled to report the scene. We are still surrounded by mountains of ice, still in imminent danger of being crushed. In the excessive cold and desolation, many of my comrades have found graves. Frankenstein declines daily, though his eyes still remember the feverish fire. This morning, as I watched my friend, half a dozen sailors demanded admission into the cabin. Captain, we have little hope that we shall escape this desolate place. On the slender chance that the ice might dissipate, the men have asked me to present their fate. If we are freed, we must agree to direct your course immediately southward. Have you all lost faith in our enterprise? To continue north would be madness. You'd risk even further loss of life. I will not despair. Despair? We'll gladly exchange fond hope for certain justice. I'd rather die than return shamefully. But we would rather live. Under any circumstances? We feel no shame at being trapped in these mountains of ice.
Are you so easily turned from your design? Hereafter you would be hailed as the benefactors of your species. Brave men who encountered death for the benefit of mankind. But now, at the first trial of your courage, you are contented being handed down to those poor souls who grew chilly and returned to their firesides. Be men, or be more than men. Steady your purpose, firm as a rock. This ice is not made of such stuff as your hearts. It is mutable, and it cannot be moved if you say it shall not. Do not return to your families with the stigma of disgrace etched into your brows, but rather as heroes who fought and conquered.
We will all benefit from time to consider what has been said. What shall we tell the others? I will not lead you north if you refuse to be so led. I hope, however, upon reflection, your courage will again sustain you.
You may give up your purpose, but mine is assigned by heaven.
You are weak.
Vengeance, that the Spirit's aid for me will strengthen me.
The surgeon gave him a composing draught and told me he had not many hours to live.
I shall soon die, Walton. Will my enemy and my prosecutor. I no longer feel that burning hatred in my heart I once felt. However, I do feel justified in desiring my adversary's death. In my enthusiastic madness, I created a rational being, and I was bound up, insofar as I could, to assure his happiness and well-being. But I had a greater paramount duty. My own species had greater claims of greater proportion in happiness and misery. So, I did not create a companion for the first creature, but he showed unparalleled levels of evilness and malignity. He ought to die. He destroyed my friends. The fact that he yet lives disturbs me. In other respects, this hour, as I expected any moment my release, is the only happy one I have felt in several years. I hasten to your arms. Farewell, Walton. Seek happiness and tranquility. Avoid ambition and distinguish yourself from science and its discoveries.
You two are my victim. In your death, my crimes are consummated. My miserable being is wound to its close.
As was his fervent hope.
Oh, Frankenstein, generous and self-devoted being, to what avail do I ask you to pardon me? I, who irreparably destroyed you by destroying all that you love.
Your repentance is superfluous.
You scold. You cannot answer me.
Too late now, the voice of conscience, the sting of remorse.
Do you think I have been dead to agony and remorse? With frightful selfishness hurried me onto my heart, was poisoned with remorse. Do you think Henry's groans were music to my ears? My heart was inclined toward love and sympathy, but misery twisted that same heart, and the violence of the change was torture.
Wretch! These are a torch into a pile of buildings, and when they're consumed, you sit among the ruins and lament the fall.
After Henry's murder, I returned to Switzerland, heartbroken. I pitied the poor Frankenstein and abhorred myself. But once I discovered he hoped for the happiness he himself had denied me, envy fed vengeance. I was a slave, not the master. Testing my impulse, but bound to obey it.
Hypocritical fiend! If Frankenstein were alive, he would again be the prey of your accursed vengeance.
And yet, when she died, evil became my good. I adapted my nature to what I had chosen. Completing the design became my passion. And now it is ended. There is my final victim.
You feel no pity, only regret that your victim lies beyond your reach.
Oh, not thus, not thus. I know I'm in a refined sympathy. I first sought fellow feelings, because my heart overflowed with happiness and affection, and the love of virtue. I longed to participate with others. But now virtue is a mere shadow. Happiness and affection turned to bitter loathing, despair. For what should I seek for sympathy? Once, I falsely hoped to be with beings who would pardon my outward form and love me for my excellence. No crime has cast me below the meanest of animals. No guilt, no malignity, no misery compares to my own. Now the fallen angel becomes a malignant devil. And even Lucifer had his friends in his desolation. I am alone. And while I dashed this hope, I failed to fulfill my own desires. Was this justice? Am I the only criminal when humankind sinned against me? Why not take Felix, who drove me from the door? Why not execrate the rustic who tried to destroy his child's savior? No, they are virtuous, immaculate, while I am an abortion. And none the less a wretch. I have strangled the innocent, asleep, grasped the throat of one who had never injured me or any other human being. I devoted my Creator, the select specimen that is worthy of all love and admiration among men. The misery, white and cold, like ice and death. Your hatred cannot equal my own for myself. My heart conceived the act. My hands executed the deed. Oh, how I long for the day I will look at these hands and no longer be haunted by their history. Only one thing remains. Not your death, or any man's except my own. shall travel to the northernmost extremity of the globe, collect my funeral pyre, immolate my miserable frame, so that no unhallowed, imperious wreck will recreate another such as I have been. I will no longer feel the wind lay on my cheek, or look up and see the stars in heaven above, or even hear the warbling of the birds, or rustling of the leaves. When the world first opened up to me, these were all to me. I should have wept to die. Now death is my only consolation. Farewell, Captain. Farewell, Frankenstein. You sought my destruction, that I should no longer cause any further wretchedness. But, blasted as you were, my agony overshadowed yours. Remorse rankles bitterly in my wounds until death shall close them forever. I shall exalt myself in the torturing flames. The winds will sweep my ashes into the oceans, and hopefully my spirits will rest in peace. Or if it thinks, surely it will not think thus. Farewell.
Oh, 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 oh.
Death, she must have been your will, a born beneath the reaper's veil. And with your voice my belly sung,
Soldier in my